Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I made a video just standing in front of the camera, and this is actually kind of like the first video I'm making where I'm reviewing a game, and that game today will be The Last of Us Part 2. Before that, there's been a couple changes. As you can see, got my little hair dyed. That's there now. Now, before we even start talking about the game, I have to come out and be honest with y'all. I am pretty biased, or at least I was. I had a bias against the game. If you don't know, which you probably shouldn't, my first ever rated M video game was The Last of Us when I was like 9. Definitely too young to be playing it, but hey, I don't regret it. That PS3, it hit. So, needless to say, I was one of those fans waiting 7 years for this second installment. And when the leaks came out, I was very negatively affected by them. I'm being quite honest, I thought Abby was a trans character for like forever until I actually played the game. I was so misguided, and I think that led to a lot of the hatred and resentment I felt towards the game, because I had a lot of deep feelings about the first game. I had a deep connection with it, and I just loved it. And when the leaks came out, I was pretty disappointed that Joel, my boy, got 5 minutes of screen time before getting whacked off. And it also doesn't help that Naughty Dog is just completely at fault for, I don't know, showing him in the trailers, all of them making you believe that he will be an essential character in the game. It borders on false advertising, honestly. But needless to say, I bought the game right here, and I played it to see what all the fuss was about. And I'll be honest, it was pretty good. Now, narratively speaking, the game is trash. It should have completely been done. It should have been way better. This has to be one of the greatest gameplay experiences I've ever had, because the combat is so immersive and the gore is just off the rails in this game, and it's just chef's kiss. They absolutely mastered the gameplay loop with this game. I'll say that. I can give them that, all right? But the story, oh, the story. Where do we start? If I'm being quite honest, I think they wrote it very poorly. Now, I think I'm above those critics that are like very old-fashioned and think, no, you can only write a story this way. You have to follow it, all these specific rules to a T. But quite honestly, I do think that some writing principles should have been actually taken into account to write the narrative of this story. Like, I'm gonna pull out Chekhov's gun here. You know, you want to follow stuff like that, but still, I'll take the Angry Joe approach. I actually think he was kind of wrong, because then, if you don't know, his whole idea was you get to meet Abby as Ellie and you form a friendship with her, but I feel like that would actually be kind of a poor way to execute it, because you'd get attached to Abby, but then she'd do this heinous act and you'd just be left like, okay, well now I still hate her and I wasted most of the game with her. So I also think that isn't the right way to approach it. And quite honestly, I'm gonna go off tangent right here. Abby's gameplay was easily the best part of the game. Abby's portion of the game was like literally the greatest part of the entire game. It just should not have been The Last of Us 2. She deserved her own little DLC or her own entirely different game in The Last of Us world, just not the sequel. First off, I think that a lot of the stuff in the story is pure agenda, and I do think there's a lot of WSJs in there, but I think that they really did it right with the whole trans issue with Lev, because I found those characters to be very well written, besides the point that they're just recycling the Joel and Ellie elements. Like, Abby is clearly just Joel and Lev is just Ellie. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I do think you have to take some of those principles from writing, like in classic literature, and just, you know, overall the way we've written stories for all of time. Yeah, I think you should take those into account in writing a story. Because the whole gimmick with killing Joel is like subverting expectations, but nah. You don't gotta do it like that. The way I would have rewrote it is, the way we're introduced to her character is that she gets saved by Joel and immediately betrays him and kills him. What I think should have been done is that she knew Joel killed her dad in the ending of the game, the last game. And instead of just killing him immediately, she grows kind of like feelings for him, because for a solid hour of the game, they were together, surviving together under like, you know, false pretenses. She didn't know who he was. He definitely doesn't know who she is. And, you know, she shows hesitance towards him because like, oh, this guy just saved me. He's told me some backstory about Ellie. He's not the most horrible human being. It seems he's very mellow. And then if you're a calm and reasonable person, you might, you know, want to figure out more before you just kill a man who potentially is innocent. You might not actually fully know if he's actually, you know, the guy who killed your father. Because let's be for real, Joel telling, or actually Tommy saying their names out loud to a random group was the dumbest thing ever. Like, you'd want to keep your name on the down low after, I don't know, wiping out like the main terrorist group, the Fireflies. Yeah, that's right, they're terrorists. They bombed military operatives in the beginning of the first game. Anyone who didn't, first off, different tangent. Anyone who thought that there was ever going to be a potential for a cure is stupid. Or what about this? Maybe if there was, you would be even worse. You'd be more of an idiot if you thought they would ever share it. They would completely harbor it for themselves. They would be like, we're gonna monopolize. And let's be for real, who's gonna take that injection? Like, did y'all not see what happened with COVID? No one took that freaking, you think 20 years into the apocalypse are gonna be like, give me it. Plus, it wouldn't even solve the zombie apocalypse, it would just make you immune. You could still get ripped apart by clickers. Like, it was a no-brainer to save the innocent child who didn't even get to consent to the operation, all right? If you're generally someone who believes Joel did the wrong thing, you clearly have no kids. And honestly, you're probably kind of stupid. Yes. Let's trust these clearly underdeveloped monkeys, right? These guys who don't even have basic neurological experience. Like, we really think Abby's dad was gonna be able to pull this off without a hitch? Let's be for real. They're not manufacturing anything. They don't have facilities. Where are they gonna mass produce this vaccine? The logistics of it is just completely stupid. It's not gonna work, y'all. So already there's a little plot hole, but still, I'll let it go. Fun fact, in The Last of Us PS3, there was actually a document, like you found like a voice recording at the university where they say it has like a 1 in 10% chance of succeeding, but they retconned that because they want to make Joel seem like a bad guy. Anyways, what Joel did was technically wrong. He killed a lot of people, but you know, he's the protagonist. Let's, you know, have some mercy on him. So yeah, I think it was very poor. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. They did not introduce us this character in the most healthiest way possible. Like, I'm not the best writer, so I'm not gonna sit here and rewrite all of it. I'm just saying maybe give us some more time with Joel and Abby before she does something so heinous to a character we spent an entire game with. Like 7 years ago. We've been waiting 7 years too. Don't just, you know, rob us of that character. Secondly, I think it was a huge error not to make the ending multiple choice. Give players the choice to either spare Abby or kill her. Let us choose. At least, please. They're just trying to make the revenge bad argument. Okay, but Abby got her revenge. Let us too. If we really wanted to, let us, like, for example, if we do decide to kill her, we lose our 2 fingers like in the ending of the game, showing that revenge gets us nowhere. Or if we spare her, I don't know, she gets to keep her fingers, right? And what sucks too is they would be such good friends if it wasn't for the circumstances. I just know they would. Also, can we talk about how Tommy should not have survived that head tap? Like, oh my god, bro. He rolled a perfect, he rolled a straight flush, bro.
And you wasted it. Get off of her!
Needless to say, though, I did like Abby's portion. I'll reiterate that. I absolutely loved her section of the game. I just can't ignore everything that came before it, y'all. Like, if you like this game, I have nothing against you, you know? I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I just subjectively can't say that it's good. I can't. It wasn't written the best way possible. They didn't introduce this character to me, Abby, and her group in the healthiest way possible. You start off hating them. The whole point is to want to hate them. So that when you turn into them, you're already in this mentality of like, okay, I've killed already so many of them. She's going gun-ho for a character I spent 13 hours with the last game and like already 5 this game with the whole mentality of killing every single one of her group. So yeah, you're starting to feel bad, but you can't compare her like 6-7 hours to Ellie's almost 20. If you include the DLC. So I'm sorry if I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry. Abby should have completely died at the ending of the game. You should have at least given us the choice to go through with it. Hey, what's good? Editing Robert here. It's like 12 a.m. I'm literally dying right now. Excuse the fan. I just want to make a correction to my whole criticism here, and it's that, do I think Abby should be killed in the ending of the game? No. Believe it or not, I don't think that was even the, like, let's say everything happened the way it happened in the game, and the ending. Do I think Abby should have died? No. But it's very easy for us to think that when we also saw Abby's perspective. Ellie killed all of her friends and then went all the way over there, and she didn't really know everything that happened through Abby's perspective. And while she could put together that, you know, she did it as vengeance for her dad, this and that, she did get enough vengeance with, like, killing her friends. But I can understand people who still want to kill Abby at the end of the game, regardless of if I would personally do it at the very ending, because I don't think it's necessarily the right choice. I just think that it was very poorly executed. Like, just give players just let them, you know, press square real quick and just, you know, take her head off. I do like the graphics, I like the action, I love the set pieces, and like I said, third time I'm saying this, I absolutely adored Abby's part. It should have just been its own game, however. It should have just been its own DLC. Now, do I think Joel should have died? Yes. I do think it would have been good if Joel died in this game to drive forward like a revenge plot. I just think it should have been done very differently. I think that's it for my review. I'll give this game a solid 6 out of 10. That's the best I can do. Like 7 would be pushing it, because there's some actually brilliantly written games that get 7 out of 10s, and I can't in good faith give this one anything above a 6. I'll give you a 6.3, buddy. So I just tacked on this little bit at the end because I kind of wanted to show what, you know, the new shelf, so yeah. Okay, so let's start at the top. I have this little castle set. I don't really know. I just put it up there because I didn't have any other place. I also have some hands up here. You'll see why in a second. In the second tier, I have my Chainsaw Man and my Junji Ito. These are the specific volumes I have. No Longer Human, Uzumaki, and Tomi. In the back, I have my Death Note, but I'm not going to turn this around right now because it is a hassle. Here on the second story, I have all of my Jujutsu Kaisen. That's also what's on the back. Imagine I have like 28 volumes. And there's my little Sukuna figure. He looks super cool. Down here I have my Demon Slayer and the Chainsaw Man box. I didn't want to throw it away. And here's my little Yuji figure. I really like him. I almost said Juji. I always get it wrong. And then down here we have my little miscellaneous. I have an Attack on Titan Omnibus, Goodnight Poon Poon. This Naruto thing I found at, like, I don't know, Goodwill, and then the 3 boxes. And then there, all the way down there at the bottom, I just have like a little One Piece Lego set, so nothing really to write home about. And yeah, that's my little 5-tier bookshelf. I hope you like this little showcase. I just wanted to show it off since it cost me like, I don't know, 80 bucks. All right, so I'll see you all in the next upload. Bye. Which it'll probably either be Silent Hill Part 2 or the book review. I don't know.